We welcome you into week 7 of the Mike Turner Show as Carson-Newman celebrates a happy homecoming with a 49-27 victory over the Mars Hill Lions. Hello, everyone. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Turner. Mike, homecoming always special, and what a performance on the field for a bunch of alums. Saw a couple All-Americans, a bunch of All-Americans that came back in the crowd, a bunch of former players. And a packed house, 4,800 in attendance for Saturday's game.
Well, homecoming's always special at Carson-Newman, and it has to do with the love for the university, for the departments that they come back to visit. And what we talked to our kids about yesterday is the most important thing is about relationships. I don't think very many of those guys remember scores from past games or whatever, that type of thing, but they do remember the relationships they have here and that they've met. And gosh, it was a great crowd on campus, alums coming back, and saw many football alums. And for our kids to start off fast and play fast that way, that was made for a great homecoming.
You were up 28-0 about midway through the second quarter, and then just kind of stiff-armed the Lions to the victory. How do you sum up that start? 21-0 by the midpoint of the first quarter.
Well, that's the coach's dream, is to start that way. You know, everybody wants to start fast, and our kids did that. Had the first time I think all season we've taken the opening drive and put it in the end zone. I hope that's a new beginning and a new tradition for us. But to get ahead 2 touchdowns, our defense come in and shut them down, and then the defense picks 1 for 6. Everybody's happy, and we didn't have to punt the football. That makes for a great
day. You look at what the offense was able to do. 7th most rushing yards in school history with 548. It's the most in Division II this season. Why was your ground game so successful against the Lions?
Well, I think the maturity of our kids is coming along this time of year. I think we're more multiple than we have been at positions, at running back, at receiver, even rotating those two young men at quarterback, not for a reason except just to keep both of them playing. I think that's added to the tempo. I think that's added to the freshness, and got some guys now that in this time of year you should be getting better. Those football teams only go one way here. They either go down or level off, or you keep going up and getting better, and that's what we want this football team to be.
You talk about the 2 quarterbacks. What's it say about both Tyler Thackerson and Derek Evans that they're willing and able to both operate at a high level and support one another the way they do?
So it's a very unique situation that our kids in that huddle we didn't huddle, but on the line of scrimmage, they trust both of those guys to get them in the right play, to make plays when it comes their time with a football in their hand. And it's a great situation to have, but you mentioned it there. The greatest thing about it is how those 2 kids respond to each other, how they encourage each other, how they help evaluate each other when they come to the sideline. That's a special experience.
I think there's I think it was after Tyler Thackerson's first touchdown run, the first guy to celebrate with him as he comes to the sideline is Derek Evans.
Right. And I've told them if they touch each other and bump in that mid-air deal, that we're going to have a 6 o'clock run. So that's why it's a miss every time. Because we don't want anybody getting hurt on a high bump. So, but it is fun to watch those 2 guys respond to each other.
Eagles get the job done over the Mars Hill Lions, 49-27. We'll break down the first half after these messages on the Mike Turner Show.
I joined the Guard for the simple fact that I could be home and also in the military. So I can have a civilian job and also in the military.
Fire low! Fire!
I would tell somebody who's trying to join the Guard, thinking about it, that it's a great opportunity. Opportunities for school, training, discipline, leadership. There's a lot of opportunities. It broadens your spectrum of life.
Back on the Mike Turner Show as Carson-Newman picks up a homecoming win over the Mars Hill Lions, 49-27. It was the Eagles' 7th consecutive win over Mars Hill in the series and their 15th straight win at home over the Lions. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Turner. Mike, you talked about it earlier. Set the stage, though, quickly with some long runs. Derek Evans reels off a 51-yarder to set you up for a score. And in the first quarter, your offense was averaging more than 11 yards a rush.
Well, that's pretty effective. But yeah, it was the kids were ready to play, obviously, and they were excited about playing that show. And they also, what I really enjoy the most is that they had a good time playing. They enjoyed it. They enjoyed it.
How do you, when you're coaching a game like that, how do you notice that on the sidelines? What do you look for that tells you that, hey, the kids are locked in and having fun?
Well, you know, on the sideline, those kids around them are excited about it. They're involved in the game. But you know those kids are having fun. You react how they come on the field and off the field. You can see the excitement there. And I watch them when we do something well, we got kids that celebrate together. And that's what a coach wants to see.
Build a 28-0 lead. Jaquan Smith gets a pick 6 in there. What a nice moment for him. Hadn't had a pick yet this season, and he gets his first career defensive touchdown, too, on the 3rd time you touched the football.
Right. That's a pretty good memory maker right there. And we talked to him before the game about homecoming and all those people that were back here that they've seen and we were going to see that day, and ex-players, and you know that they have worked extremely hard to have be part of the tradition of Carson-Newman football, and these guys have a responsibility to that tradition, but they're also writing their own chapter as their legacy. Is what did they leave, and this class leave, and this class leave as part of the tradition for Carson-Newman football.
You look at the second quarter, Mars Hill. You knew that Tim Clifton's club was going to fire some offensive punches. That's the top total offense team in the South Atlantic Conference, and you had to contend with Craig Rucker all day long, their All-America candidate wide receiver. He catches an 86-yard score for a touchdown. How do you feel like the defense did, given Craig Rucker's proclivities for big plays? You hold Mars Hill beneath their averages, but still they scored some lengthy touchdowns, especially through the air.
Well, part of how you grade a defense is limiting them to big plays, and but you also know that guy is a big play guy. You watched it, and I talked to you about, you know, you see how he was advertised, but he's as good as he's advertised. Mm-hmm. And I told him that on the field yesterday after the game. He is that now, and you know, the defense I thought played extremely well, and we had them in situations where we should have got off the field, mm-hmm. and then we would give up a big play here, a big play there that kept them on the field and put them in position to score. Had a handful of penalties too, especially later in the second half, that kept some drives alive as well. Yes, we did, and you know, it's you'd like for the flow of the game and the number of penalties called in the first half compared to the number mm-hmm. of penalties called in the second half, and I know that's their job, but I thought the flow of the game was going really well. I looked up at one point and thought, is it still the first quarter? You know what I mean? That was a long quarter, in the same way with a couple of other second and third. But we continue to work to avoid the penalties that are not aggressive penalties, stupid penalties, just squared up right up the front. And we've eliminated a lot of those. Those are still going to happen because it's football and you're playing with kids. Mm-hmm. Eagles were up at the halftime break over the Mars Hill Lions. We take a look at those first half highlights on the Mike Turner Show.
Steven Sanchez has it teed up on the left hash. He sends it away to Marcus Williams, short along the right sideline at the 8. Williams heading left across the 20. Williams with the seam to the 30 and 35. A stiff arm along the right hashes up to the 40-yard line for a 32-yard return. Chris Ferdinand grabbed him from behind, but the Eagles kickoff return game, 18th in the flexing its muscles there, and the Eagles with great field position at their own 40 to open up the game. Evans moving quickly. Option left side. Evans keeps it across midfield. Shakes and bakes a man at the 45. Evans off to the races left side. Evans in the foot race across the 5. He dives for the pylon. and forced out of bounds by Chris Ferdinand down at the 1. 3rd and goal from the 1. Wimbush and Williams the splitbacks. Evans again, the quarterback sneak. This time he piles into the end zone. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Derek Evans calls his own number for his 23rd career touchdown. The 1-yard QB sneak has the Eagles up early, 6-0. With 13-12 left in the first quarter. Carson-Newman 13-12 to play in the first quarter. Eagles already up 7-0 thanks to Derek Evans and a 50-yard run. And he sets himself up for a 1-yard touchdown plunge. Ferguson will return this kick for the Lions. He runs square into Ross Pryor in the boundary right side of the 20. And Pryor slings him down after a return of 18. Brown in the gun, Watkins to his right, trips to the left, one to the right. Snap back to Brown, throws, and that is intercepted by Jaquan Smith at the 20. Smith racing right sideline. Smith makes the house call. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Pick 6 for Jaquan Smith. And he returns it 20 yards for the score. Under center, takes the snap, wants the quick hitter, complete to Romaine Kelly. Kelly spins through a tackle, bangs off of another body at the 45, runs right hashes and gets down to the 41-yard line. Some pushing and shoving after the fact. Carl Robert took him to the turf after the play had been blown dead. Mike Van Bruggen, Carson-Newman's director of sports medicine, gesturing wildly. He wanted the flag there. At the Lions' 38-yard line. Cowan and Jackson, the splitbacks behind Thackerson. Thackerson takes, gives on the dive, left of center. Jackson, Sharon Jackson with a burst and explosion into the second level. 10, 5, milk, honey, touchdown, Carson-Newman. Sharon Jackson, 38 yards on the dive, left of center. And the Eagles up 34-7 with 8:49 to play in the second quarter. Bring up 2nd and 3 for the Lions. Down 35-7 to Carson-Newman with 5:02 to play in the second quarter. Brown from the gun on 2nd and 3. Brown is waylaid in the backfield. Javon Barnes comes storming free for a sack. Back to the 45. A little sack lunch for Javon Barnes forces him to lose 9.
Those are the first half highlights. Eagles were up 35-14 at the halftime break over the Mars Hill Lions. This is the Mike Turner Show. Mike, first half message, what'd you say in the locker room to your team to keep the good times rolling in the second half?
Well, just told them how proud I was of them and how they were answering what we had asked them to do there before the game and how to come out and start playing and how it was to be a football team that's a threefold football team, offense, defense, and kicking game. And we were getting it done and just wanted to encourage them to be smart, take care of themselves on the field, don't let up. Okay, if you let up, things happen like penalties and things happen like injuries and those kind of things. And we wanted to make sure we came back out. But the word is finish. Finish what you start. Mm-hmm. Don't come into halftime and it be 35-14 and you come out there at the end of the game and feel like we barely held on or something like that. And you really don't feel good about yourself no matter what you've accomplished that day.
A running game that we talked about the overall yards, but you really spread the ball around efficiently and effectively. 6 guys rush for at least 40 yards, and then you've got 4 with 90 or more, led by Antonio Wimbush and his 144. You said post-game, well, that's the option, but what's it mean that you can utilize the option and have so many different guys touch the football and do good things with it?
Well, it means you keep fresh legs in there. And obviously our offense is about tempo and how fast we hit the veer lane, how fast we get the ball on the corner. When you've got those fresh legs, it's just another quick burst that they have in them that maybe somebody that's gone 12 or 14 plays in a row doesn't have. So I felt like we were able to keep fresh people in the game yesterday. And the beauty of that was we didn't back off any. We didn't let down a little bit here or there. And those kids, they work hard and they want to play. And they responded great. I thought that the tempo, the explosion part, the aggressive part of it was very good.
Eagles get the job done over the Mars Hill Lions, 49-27. We break down the second half after these messages on the Mike Turner Show. Back on the Mike Turner Show as Carson-Newman beats the brakes off the Mars Hill Lions 49-27 on homecoming. I'm Adam Cavalier, the voice of the Eagles, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Turner. Mike, a second half where you started much the same way as you did the first half, a 3-and-out on Mars Hill, and then what is becoming routine, another 60-plus yard run. Marcus Williams with good burst around the edge to take it 63 yards to the house on the first play from scrimmage for you in the second half. What's that do when you can set the tone after halftime with a defensive stand like that and follow it up with a big offensive play?
That's the words you leave them before they go out to warm up to play. You know what I mean? That's exactly the way you want it to be. I was so proud of the defensive effort to go back out and be aggressive, get after it, and then getting the ball pitched on the corner. And you know, Marcus, and one of the things that's been very evident in the last 3 weeks we talked about yesterday was our perimeter blocking with our receivers has improved very much. It's still got ways to go, but gosh, I look out there yesterday on some of those long runs, and we've got wide outs locked up with people moving their feet back and forth. It's just great to watch in this kind of offense.
You expect that out of a Quentin Phillips, who's been in the program for a little bit, knows what things are about, but you're right. Romaine Kelly has guys pushed 20, 30 yards down the field. Feels like he's not a freshman anymore.
No, not at all. And he's gaining more and more confidence. And you know, he is a great kid. And I really look forward to the future with Romaine Kelly here. Second half,
you get to play some different people. Tyson Herring gets his first reps under center this year. Braden Holcomb gets his first carries as an Eagle. You see Trezell Juradini Weish make some plays at defensive end. How nice was it to get some guys who hadn't seen the field yet this year some playing time?
Well, that's what's great, and that's what's great about homecoming. That's what's great about parents being here and families being here. And, you know, it's just a perfect afternoon when you can get kids into the game that have labored all week long, just like the starter or the backup, and to have those kids in at the end of the game and be productive, you know, run the clock out, those kind of things, that's a great day.
Continued to dominate time of possession and had another just classic Carson-Newman drive in the fourth quarter to salt things away. 7 minutes with the football, you put points on the board. Just how nice is it to be able to assert your will late, I guess, with those fresh legs?
Yes, with those fresh legs and you know, another good day of taking care of the football. And that's a key in any kind of offense, but in this offense especially is keep the ball off the ground and you have a chance to keep moving the chains. And somewhere in there you have a chance to make a big run, or somewhere in there you just keep eating the clock and you keep moving the chains. That's pretty good.
It really is quite remarkable, the ball security that this offense has had. I mean, an option attack leads itself to some fumbles just off the pitch naturally, and that really hasn't happened this year.
No, it has not, and we've been very, very conscious of that, and know that with what limitations we started off with, that has to be an ally and not an enemy. And our kids were really concentrated on that, and they've worked on it in practice, and the coaching staff has helped make that possible. But now they understand, you know, we don't give the ball up, we can be a pretty good offense.
Second half, you did have two drives stall out, one on the goal line, one got hurt by penalties, and you missed a field goal. How do you use those as teaching moments from a game like this?
Well, there's going to be some great teaching moments on that one, buddy. When we get the ball inside the orange zone, everybody else calls it the red zone, but that's not true. It's the orange zone. And when we get the ball there, we're supposed to score. We've got a great percentage of sticking the ball in. And we made some mistakes down there blocking-wise, and those kind of mistakes we have never made. And basically it comes back to communication. You have to communicate on there. It's not just about just coming off and trying to maul people. You got to communicate. We made a mistake in that area. We missed a field goal, and Drew had plenty of leg to make that one. Had great protection. We'll get it cleaned up.
Carson-Newman gets the win over the Mars Hill Lions, 49-27. We take a look at those second half highlights.
So 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Right hash at their own 37. Evans spins, pitches left side. Williams with blockers along the left boundary. Williams a stiff arm past the 40. Williams sailing between the hashes. Williams dashes for 6. Touchdown! Carson-Newman! Marcus Williams, 67 yards. 2nd and 16 Eagles, right hash at their own 32. Evans with one man in the backfield, straight drop looking to throw. Steps up, runs left, throws left, complete with loads of space to Quentin Phillips. Quentin Phillips, first down yardage into Mars Hill territory along the left hashes, inside the 40 and brought down by Means down at the 37-yard line. 10:02 to play in the fourth. Eagles up 42-21 on the Lions. Thackerson on 2nd and 10. Speed option right, a pitch right, Jackson. Jackson gets through a tackle at the 40, spurns his way up to midfield. He's got the first down. A whirling dervish for the first for Sherrod Jackson. Robert Go knocks him down. But Jackson churns his legs for 12 yards and a first down to the Mars Hill 48 on this drive. Wimbush and McCowan, the split backs behind Evans, 3 wide. McCowan in motion to the right. Evans takes, draw for Wimbush. Wimbush makes some people miss in the backfield. Now he's free along the left sideline. Wimbush across the 20, picks up the first down, and he's upended by Robert Go in the boundary left side down at the 18-yard line. 17 yards for Antonio Wimbush. And a first down for the Eagles behind Evans on 3rd and goal from the 3. Ball between the hashes. Eagles looking to pad a 42-21 advantage. Evans takes, option keeper left side. Evans stood up at the goal line, and Evans gets the nose of the football across the goal line. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Career score number 24 for Derek Evans.
Back on the Mike Turner Show as Carson-Newman collects a victory over the Mars Hill Lions on homecoming, 49-27. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Turner. And time now for our Eagles Spotlight. And this week, Michael Wattrang shines it on Montel Presley.
Coming out of South Sumner High School, Montel Presley was a 2-time All-State selection in Florida. His family tree boasted 4 former NFL players, including Hall of Famer Warren Sapp. The junior defensive tackle had his sights set on something big in college. After the dust settled in recruitment, Carson-Newman became the clear choice, a decision that has helped mold him.
They made me become more outspoken kind of, and being a better person in general. You know, my personality is brightened up a little bit. You know, come here at first, you know, I was like kind of off to myself, kind of quiet, but being here, it brought my personality out. You know, just meeting different people from different places, you know, states and all that, and I've just been enjoying it.
His growth as a person has carried on to the playing surface. Despite a shoulder injury that slowed his sophomore season, Coach Dan Redding has seen an improved Presley each day.
The growth is his attitude, mainly. Montel's come in here this year with a tremendous attitude, no matter what happens, up, down, what kind of adversity he affects, that affects him. He's still positive. He wants to do whatever he can do to make us successful, and that means a great deal.
Presley took to the classroom in the time between his sophomore and junior seasons at Mossy Creek. Combine the increased acumen with his raw talent, and the time and effort has paid off in 2018.
The thing that has changed with Montel is his understanding of the defense and you know, the assignments that he has and what he needs to be doing. Very physical guy inside. He brings a great punch. He's got tremendous grip. First thing that attracts you, that you notice about him when you shake hands with him. But he's a good player, a good person, and works hard. He has a lot going for him, but he's a very even, skilled player. Not a lot of weaknesses in him.
It has taken time for the Florida native to mature, but he is piecing together a strong season up front on the defense. He does not forget about his recruitment and uses it as motivation. I'm
a little underdog, and I try to be there, you know, when somebody needs help, or I call myself as the cleanup man, you know. If somebody misses a tackle, I'm there, you know, I'm helping you out, you know. I try to be, you know, that guy for whenever you need me.
Seeing an improvement as a team and becoming an All-American are the top goals for the young roadblock. Presley has the resources behind him to continue to see the progression, as Redding thinks the normal maturation will allow him to reach his potential. For the Eagle Sports Network, I'm Michael Wattrang.
All right, thank you very much, Michael Wattrang, Mike Turner, Montel Presley. Kind of quiet, unassuming on the field, but man, he can be a force to be reckoned with up the middle along with Brian Bembry.
Oh, no question. And he's a powerful young man and takes pride in his work. That's what I really like about him. He knows what's required of him. He knows what's got to get done by he and Brian and the other kids in that front four and that interior. When they're attacking, when they're aggressive, then our linebackers are making tackles and we're knocking the line of scrimmage back. And we've always got to, keep working. If you're going to be aggressive, sometimes you can get overtaken in the zone deal. And we've got to keep working, keep fighting through that. But been very, very proud of that bunch.
3 games in a row that you've picked up victories. You finish out a 3-game homestand this weekend against Virginia Lynchburg. Your offense has been resurgent, averaging 450 yards on the ground per game during this win streak. How do you keep that going against a Virginia Lynchburg team sitting at 3-4 that has given some people fits this year? Took Newberry into the fourth quarter. They've got wins over Fort Valley State and Brevard. Gave Benedict fits, who only has 1 loss out of the SEAC. How do you prepare for this Virginia Lynchburg team?
Well, number one, our kids know that, we're in control of our own destiny. And you cannot stub your toe. You cannot look at the next week or the next week or the next week. We have to play everybody as if it was sudden death, and in reality, that's what it is. But don't let that be the part about the game. The important part about the game is play it wide open. Make sure we're responsible to each other. We got accountability. That we wanted to have a good time in doing that. So nothing's changed in the last 3 weeks to coming up to this week. Nothing at all. Practice, because I guarantee you, how you practice is going to be how you play. I don't know who sold America on this gamer stuff, but that's not true. All right.
Red Man, pleasure as always. Congrats on the victory, and thanks for the time.
Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate it.
That's Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Turner. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier. This has been the Mike Turner Show. Thanks for watching.